Two guild members grumble quietly but admit they have no choice. Baron floats up glowing, called humanity's only hope left standing. Baron shouts loud, declaring he will split the reward his way. Two guards respond instantly, while Sophia and Jihan stand quietly behind. Baron cuts the list short and Sophia snaps up in disbelief. Sophia steps forward hard, telling Baron that Jihan killed the behemoth. Baron points his finger slow and cold, asking what she thinks. Baron points at Jihan directly because he is not American. Baron's eye narrows, calling Jihan a citizen but not truly American. Baron calls him a useful dog, and Jihan says nothing back. Sophia yells, "Still," while Jihan turns away saying it's fine. Jihan tells her to go, and she just stares at his back. He remembers standing alone in the broken city, the last one left from his country. His SSS rank skill appears on screen, Nameless Divine Arts, incomplete. He looks down at his hands, ranked 7th in the world. He sits apart from the others, head low, alone in silence. His eyes drop closed, something heavier than the pain stays with him. He climbs onto a crushed car in a cracked, empty street. He says nothing, but tries to process how many lives lost today. He channels blue light into his arm and waits for news. The screen reads, "Game over, Bronze League demotion, result incoming." The mission board shows defense type, survival condition, United States success. A red-haired woman stands firm, China succeeds, Russia fails below her. The globe fills with red Japan, and more, all fail. Two men stare at the ground, only 2 out of 10. The screen flashes red. Humanity no. 4,212 has failed the demotion match. 3 figures stand still, watching the city burn under a red sky. Dark creatures gather under a blood moon. Urk's final match announced. The group all turns, someone shouts the name Urk in disbelief. Sophia pushes forward telling Baron they need Jihan. Baron stays silent. Baron replied no we don't to Sophia, and orders the team to compete without him. Baron gets pulled into a bright glowing portal and disappears. Baron, red hair, and a third fighter stand close and hard-faced. Baron's glowing blue eyes narrow, he says, "It's been a while." A massive armored beast sits on a throne, beasts at its feet. Baron counts 5 fighters total, adding in 1 Chinese ranker. He says all right and squeezes his fist. They fight without Jihan. Baron roars, red lightning crackling across its whole face. Baron rises up with red energy exploding all around the team. Baron blasts forward into the Urk, red energy tearing through everything. Baron throws his head back and screams, red and purple energy erupting around him. The Urk swings hard, sending a human player flying through the air. Chinese girl crouches low, eyes sharp, while Sophia and another player stare in shock behind him. Spectators in the crowd gape upward, pale and trembling. Jihan stands outside near a cracked yellow cab, head down, holding a glowing blue screen. His eyes lift slowly, cold and steady beneath dark hair. A system screen flashes over Baron fallen body, human player, dead. The crowd screams, faces twisted in horror and disbelief. An Urk drives a human player hard into the ground with a burst of light. 2 more death alerts flash as another player collapses under a crushing blow. Sophia kneels on the ground, Urk hand-stretched weapon toward her, ready to eliminate her. A massive Urk stands over the wreckage, red eyes glowing with satisfaction. The game ends, humanity is defeated, and dropped from the Bronze League. A woman covers her face and cries while a man beside her stares in shock. Her wide green eyes stare out from behind trembling fingers. A dark void cracks open in the ground, purple lightning splitting the floor apart. Several survivors stand scattered across a black, fractured space, small and lost. Jihan stands upright, shirt torn, purple energy crackling all over his body. He steps forward through the dark, jaw tight, electricity burning at his hands. Purple lightning tears across Earth from space, splitting the planet open. Screams fill the void as players fall into the dark, begging to be saved. A single point of light appears in total darkness, then the system announces humanity deleted. An error screen flashes red against the black. A glowing outline of Jihan's body drifts alone in pure darkness. White light swells beneath Jihan's cracked face. The nameless divine arts resists deletion. Jihan stands cracked and fractured, head down, the system noting his skill pushed back. His eyes cut through the damage, fixed and cold, asking what could have changed. 2 system screens note his faint but real possibility too small to ignore. Darkness holds 2 questions. The true name never learned, the chance never taken. 2 more questions burn in the void. Korea destroyed, the people he loved gone. A vast red entity observed Jihan's glowing form in one hand, screen reading, "I agree." A glitched system screen flashes the words, "I agree." Jihan lies flat on the sofa, sweating, eyes barely open. He sits on the sofa beside empty bottles, gripping his head. A system screen confirms Sung Ji-han will return to the league's starting point. He grabs his head with one hand, mouth tight, trying to understand what has happened. Ji-han sits alone in a wide, quiet apartment surrounded by empty bottles. His face lifts, sweating, uncertain, something clicking behind his eyes. He shoves the curtains open with both hands and stares out. People move calmly outside a tall building in the daylight below. The scene is labeled, South Korea, year 2020. Two boys fight with sticks in the street, arguing over who is the Sword King. A couple walks together nearby, talking easily about the game tutorial. Jihan's eyes open fully clear, sharp, wide awake. He calls up his status window, and a blue screen appears beside him. The screen reads, Sung Ji-han, Level 2, reset to the very beginning. A short, sharp laugh escapes from the side of his mouth. Ji-han looks down at the glowing screen, something steady settling across his face. His fist tightens at his side. He stands before his sister-framed family photo, standing tall, fist clenched at his side. His eyes close. Jaw set this time is not the same as before. Ji-han stares forward, face half in shadow, steady and cold. The year 2020. A packed stadium cheers as Korea faces China on the board. A masked warrior holds two glowing blades crossed, purple energy surging around him. Four fighters clash across a battlefield in streaks of light and blades. A dark-suited man crouches low, gripping a purple sword, energy exploding behind him. He straightens and raises the blade. This is the Sword King, Yoon Se-jin. Crowds cheer wildly, arms raised, faces bright with pride. Se-jin stands before a wall of microphones and announces he is leaving Korea. He declares a new name and joins Japan's Neo Self-Defense Force in July 2020. Ji-han watches the TV broadcast alone, the breaking news scrolling below Se-jin's face. Ji-han sits on the couch with arms crossed, face tight with irritation. News anchors report the Sword King's departure and Korea's falling rank on screen. Ji-han watches in profile, jaw clenched, as Korea drops further down the rankings. Two anchors smile and speak of maintaining a rank of 20th. Ji-han clicks the TV off, hand gripping the remote firmly. Ji-han faces forward, expression flat and hard. He knows what came next. A system screen announces the Space League is starting, then notes it began as a game. Ordinary people on a street check glowing blue status windows for the first time. A vast purple sphere tears open the sky above a burning city. Massive monsters rise through fire and wreckage. Death in the game meant death in life. Three massive monsters roar and tear through a burning city together. People run screaming through fire and debris, faces twisted with terror. Earth wasn't prepared then. But he vows to do things differently. Ji-han's bare feet step forward. Every survivor said the same thing after. Se-jin stares out coldly in a formal suit, expression unreadable and distant. Ji-han stands before his sister family photo, and Se-jin is his brother-in-law. Ji-han's fist drives hard and fast, creating a crack. Ji-han holds his fist against the frame, aiming at Se-jin's face in the family photo, fist tight, clenched with fury. The cracked photo frame splinters further under his knuckles. His eyes drop low, dark and unreadable, just one word left hanging. The family photo with his sister, nephew, Se-jin cracks apart. Ji-han stands supreme. Two crossed golden swords rise from the rooftop of a gleaming tower. Ji-han stares forward, sweating, piecing everything together slowly. He looks down at his status screen, all stats at level 2. Ji-han sits thinking, fingers pressed to his temple beside the floating blue screen. His eye cuts sideways, sharp and wry. He already knows why the stats are bad. A single glowing figure stands in a beam of light before a crowd in darkness. A glowing gold potion rests on the counter in front of him. His memory flashes to him, sits drunk in the dim room, tipping the potion to his mouth. His present self watches the memory, expression flat and still. The system screen shows 100,000 achievement points. He leans over the blue screen, chin in hand, eyes narrowed. He stands in the living room, scrolling the blue panel alone. His eyes go wide, and his mouth drops open. A gold card with a question mark glows inside the inventory. The screen displays the achievement point exchange voucher EX description. He stands sideways, staring at the blue screen with quiet focus. His finger presses the glowing voucher text on the panel. The system confirms the voucher has been used and the shop unlocked. A gold shop panel appears, 3 items listed, all priced high. He stares at the yellow screen, fist pressed tight to his mouth. He selects shop upgrade and presses it with calm, steady hands. The screen confirms the shop has risen to level 2. His eyes lock forward, sharp, cold, and certain. The screen confirms the shop has risen to level 3. His eyes narrow further, fixed on the screen, without blinking. 50,000 points remain, and the next upgrade costs 40,000. His face is split between 2 close panels, eyes cold. His next move will determine everything. He holds the glowing gold shop screen and presses it with one finger. His face goes pale and wide-eyed with sweat on his jaw. The blue screen confirms. Emergency recovery can restore a broken item. He drags a hand hard across his face, showing frustration. He stands easy with a loose smile touching the corner of his mouth. A finger presses down on a glowing fingerprint scanner. A door slides open and he steps through it without slowing. He walks into Sejin's player room and stops beside the machine. He settles into the seat and taps the glowing panel below him. The system confirms inventory has opened inside the BattleNet connector. The inventory shows Dongfang Shuo's broken brush, ranked A, unusable. His eyes lock forward, cold and bright, both fixed on the screen. The system begins restoring the broken brush inside a spinning blue circle. The screen confirms the brush has been fully restored. He raises 2 fingers toward the screen, expression calm and certain. A white-haired figure in blue robes stands alone in dark smoke. The restored brush floats massive and silver against smoke and white light. He sits in the seat gripping the brush, blue flame curls off it. The system announces the BattleNet League tutorial will begin soon. The countdown shows 10 seconds and he calls up his status screen. The brush slashes through the status panel and stats scatter in blue light. He presses forward through the blue glow, eyes sharp and jaw set. Blue lightning tears through the room and while he stands with unwavering confidence, his hand grips the brush tight as it draws a dark arc. Lightning explodes outward and his small figure stands at the center. 1 second left, the stat screen blazes with strength, agility, vitality. The system confirms Sung Jihan has entered the BattleNet League. A gold survival emblem glows against a dark stone arena background. Players scatter across the Coliseum floor as a monster sweeps through. The system orders all players to fight until 50 remain standing. Blue light washes over his face and his jaw tightens hard. He stands barefoot in the Coliseum sand holding the brush outward. He snaps the status panel open and stares into the blue screen. The system confirms strength, agility, and vitality have merged into martial power. His full status reads, Level 2, Bronze League, Martial Power 5. 2 notifications confirm a unique stat earned 10,000 achievement points. He stands easy in the arena, brush glowing, screen open beside him. He looks up with a quiet smile just at the edge of his mouth. The screen shows Martial Power 5 enough for the Bronze League. He stands barefoot on the sand reading a blue warning panel alone. His face is calm, and his eyes settle low with old weight. His memory flashes to him, stands still beside the dark machine in the quiet room. He turns in the Coliseum with a loose, easy look on his face. The achievement window activates, and his eyes sharpen on the blue screen. One eye fills the panel still and pale and cold. A blue quest screen offers 1,000 points for finishing first place. His jaw drops low, and his face tilts into a bright smile. Jihan's hand catches a glowing blade flat between 2 bare fingers. He stands in the sand and holds the blade still behind him. He speaks without turning, eyes lit cold blue at the edge. A group of armed players stands under a blue guild flag outside a tower. World flags fill the sky as nations pour money into the league. 4 guild emblems blaze against dark light. Korea's guilds take shape. 5 suited men stand in a row with arms crossed and eyes hard. A warrior statue towers over the bright open arena of Gangnam Area 1. 2 armored players wait at the front as the game begins. A player in red looks around and mutters through his teeth. He stands shaking on the sand, arms trembling at his sides. He pumps his fist and shouts with his face tipped down. The Twin Star Guild emblem glows cold, above rows of bowed heads. His status shows A-rank gift Agile Agility, boosted by 25. He rolls his shoulders in the arena and clicks his sword twice. His eyes flash hard and he scans the field for a target. A bald fighter and a blue-cloaked knight stand side by side in the stands. 2 green-skinned monsters breathe steam and grin at each other. He turns his back and walks fast toward the far end. He moves through the chaos with a smirk and both eyes low. He stands between a cloaked player and a heavy armored knight, sweating. He stops and turns his head with his brow pulled tight. Jihan glances up from his blue screen at the red-jacketed player standing alone in the sand. Du Hyuk-gu stares at Jihan's plain clothes with wide, uneasy eyes. He grips his sword tight and decides Jihan is an easy target. The game alert flashes across the arena. Survive until it ends. Du Hyuk-gu lunges forward, blade drawn, closing the gap fast. Jihan turns slightly, calm, as the sword rushes toward him. 2 fingers snap shut around the blade and stop it cold. Du Hyuk-gu freezes, eyes blown wide, sword locked in place. Jihan holds the blade still between 2 bare fingers, expressionless. 2 fingers rise slowly in the air, steady, unhurried, silent. Du Hyuk-gu crashes hard into the sand, sword flying loose. Jihan stands with his back turned, 2 fingers still raised lightly. He glances sideways, calm, a faint curve at the edge of his mouth. Du Hyuk-gu scrambles up, face red, teeth clenched. shaking with rage. Jihan stands still in the open arena, hands easy at his sides. Du Hyuk-gu charges again, jaw tight, body blazing with blue light. Hyuk-gu watches the rush coming, face steady, eyes reading every step. Hyuk-gu plants his feet as blue lightning tears through the air around him. Du Hyuk-gu swings wide, Jihan steps sideways, and catches the blade bare-handed. Du Hyuk-gu drives the sword down hard from above, with both arms. The two clash across the sand in a blur of steel and motion. Jihan drops low, teeth set, eyes locked on every incoming cut. His eyes go flat and still reading, not reacting. A thin smile crosses Jihan's face, mouth barely open. Du Hyuk-gu swings again and again. Jihan sidesteps each arc cleanly. Jihan watches the pattern from close range, body low and loose. Du Hyuk-gu screams and hurls himself forward, sword blazing with speed. Jihan's back is turned, then his eye snaps sideways, cold and sharp. Jihan drops under the swing and drives his palm into Do Hyuk-gu's chest. Du Hyuk-gu's sword spins upward and hangs alone in the open sky. Du Hyuk-gu staggers back, both gloved hands pressed to his numb chest. His eyes go wide, shaking, staring at something shocking. Du Hyuk-gu flies backward along the arena wall, sword dragging the ground. Jihan moves in low, grabs the falling blade, eyes bright and cold. Du Hyuk-gu twists upright. Jihan is already inside his reach, sword raised. Du Hyuk-gu gasps and shakes, blue light fragmenting off his body. Jihan stands barefoot over the fallen body, the seized sword hanging at his side. Du Hyuk-gu dissolves into blue light, teeth bared, screaming at Jihan. Jihan closes his eyes and lets out a quiet breath, face loose. A blue system screen flashes, first kill secured, 100 points earned. Jihan turns away from the dissolving body, scanning the open arena floor. His eyes go still flat, measuring, already looking ahead. A pack of armored Urk monsters snarls from across the sand. The herd fills the gate entrance, axes raised, red eyes burning. Two players nearby recoil and scatter, cursing at the sight of them. Jihan faces his blue screen, body still, one sharp exhale. A new quest panel opens, Urk Group Annihilation. 30 monsters, 500 points. Jihan tilts his head down, mouth barely parting, reading the reward line. The full Urk horde stands beyond the sand, with a gold-armored giant looming behind. Jihan rolls his neck slowly, one hand brushing back toward his nape, calm and relaxed. His eyes open low, dark, and sharp as a blade edge. Two footsteps crack into the sand, and the ground bursts beneath them as he dashes toward the Urks. The Urk leader flinches back, tusks wide, claws raised in confusion. Jihan blurs across the arena floor toward the massed horde at full speed. The pack surges forward, together axes, spears, prepared for the new enemy appearance. An Urk hurls a hammer towards Jihan as he runs towards them even faster. Jihan drives forward low and fast, fists raised and eyes calm. Two spinning blades rush towards Jihan mid-run as he swings arm back with confidence. An axe sweeps wide. Jihan ducks under it and snatches the handle bare-handed. He wrenches both stolen axe handles inward and snaps them at once. Jihan swings high and hurls the axe with dark, unreadable expression. He launches off the ground and drives a heel down into the leader's skull. A wide, dark arc tears through three Urks at the same time. The full horde closes in axes, spears, and tusks, pressing from every side. Jihan slides underneath two Urks and rockets through the narrow gap between them. He rises inside the ring of Urks and begins spinning both arms wide. A dense dark wave sweeps outward and lifts several Urks off the ground. 4 Urk heads go airborne, dissolving into smoke as they fly apart. 3 Urks freeze sweat on their snouts, red eyes wide and locked. The red-hair Urk general stares ahead, jaw hanging, voice gone silent. Jihan stands at the center of the closing horde, one hand raised to his ear. The blue system counter flashes 5 of 30 eliminated. A horde of orcs closes in tight around Jihan from every side. The orcs surge forward, all at once, in a blur of weapons. Jihan drops low and dodges as a massive orc slashes down hard. Jihan shifts his body sideways in a sharp burst of speed. He drives his staff into the orc's armor with an explosive crack. 2 slash lines cut across an orc's face in a burst of white light. A large orc staggers back as a bright force tears through its head. Jihan sweeps his staff out low and cuts through 2 orcs at once. Jihan stands still in the clearing while orc bodies dissolve around him. A large red-eyed orc crouches low and growls through bared tusks. Jihan turns his head slightly as his weapon swings with blinding speed. An orc charges in, swinging a thick club with a sharp battle cry. Jihan weapon snaps in half with one bare hand grip. The broken axe explodes into splinters on the Colosseum floor. Jihan holds the broken stump, while the Urk sweats in a defensive stance. The orc brings its knees crashing down hard onto the arena sand. Jihan grips the shattered stump tightly as the wood cracks apart completely. Two orcs shout a battle cry while gripping their own broken weapons. More orcs rush in from all sides as Jihan stands ready in the center. Jihan's bare foot presses down steady and firm onto the ground. Jihan stomps down and a bright shockwave blasts every orc away. Johanna foot drives hard into the ground and cracks the arena floor open. Jihan snatches an incoming blade out of the air with one hand. He grips a spear with both hands and spins hard through the dust. Blue light arcs across the Colosseum floor that cuts two orcs down. Jihan swings the sword low, with cold, sharp eyes and full force. He twists and drags the weapon in a wide circle around him. The remaining orcs freeze and stare as blue energy flares between them. Jihan's hand grabs the spear shaft faster than the orcs can track. Jihan slides forward low across the floor, gripping a short sword tight. A large orc lunges back hard with both arms pulled towards Jihan. The orc takes 3 clean hits and spins down in a streak of blood. A blue energy beam drives straight through a falling orc's body. One orc stands in the smoke while a third drops beside them. The large red-eyed orc sweats and stares with wide shaking eyes. Jihan charges upward past the orc with white light blazing off him. A blue system panel flashes Urk Group Annihilation Quest cleared. The system awards 500 achievement points as Jihan holds the screen. A second blue panel appears, level up notification. Jihan stares at the screen wide-eyed and tense with sweat on his face. Jihan opens the Achievement Shop Level 4 menu and reads each item. A small smile crosses his face as he reads the screen. His finger hovers over the class selection screen. Warrior, Archer, Mage, Support. 3 red-eyed zombies lurch forward with open mouths in the dark. Dozens of broken bodies pile together as the Bronze League banner appears. A lone figure stands on a high tower wall as zombies shriek below. The system panel flashes. Protect the crystal. A gloved hand grips a gold-engraved sword tightly in the dark. A warrior in red stands before a glowing blue crystal under red sky. The system panel adds fighting continues until 5 towers remain. Im Gaeyong, Twin Star Guild warrior, age 23, stands alone and still. Her amber eyes narrow as she stares forward with a sharp expression. Blue light flares along the wall behind her and she doesn't flinch. 2 fighters stand ready side by side, a hooded mage and an archer in blue. Gaeyong and the 2 fighters stand between the mage and archer, sizing each other up. Gaeyong studies the archer B-rank gear, LK affiliation, and notes it. The unaffiliated mage twirls his ornate staff and smirks with calm confidence. Gaeyong walks forward alone with her sword ready and her coat trailing. The mage leaps up while the archer draws near, awaiting the last team member. Gaeyong stood grounded as she reads every move in advance. Gaeyong's eye snaps wide open in sharp surprise. Jihan exhales slowly with his eyes closed and face calm. Jihan steps forward, gripping a staff with the mage and archer behind him, shock. Jihan looks ahead with steady eyes. Sung Jihan, age 27, support. The system confirms support class selected, then flashes a class mismatch warning. Jihan taps the blue screen without hesitation and confirms his choice. Jihan stares forward with cold blue eyes and does not look away. The system displays his full status. Level 6, Martial Power 10. Achievement points, 1, 0, 6, 0, 0. A robed figure glows in sacred light as the divine power stat unlocks. A support sits bored, truly shows the difficulty to increase his divine stats. It wasn't a great time. Training was brutal. Stats points were always disappointing. Jihan stands still with arms crossed and thinks about every unused point. A small smirk crosses his face as he considers the method he knows. A gloved hand grips a staff tightly against a blood-red sky. Gaeyong stares sideways at Jihan standing casually between the mage and archer. The mage throws his head back and laughs loudly at the sight. The mage points and shouts at Jihan's plain clothes and bare equipment. Jihan turns his head and says nothing. 5 dots fill his speech bubble. The archer grabs the mage's wrist firmly and tells him to calm down. The mage yanks his arm free and shouts that he refuses to cooperate. The mage blazes with red energy as Jihan looks up at him calmly. Jihan says 2 words and the mage's face twists in shock. The mage goes silent and stares down with a hollow, empty look. The mage drops into the dark alone with his staff and says nothing. Gaeyong and Jihan walk separately along the high wall above the abyss. The mage hangs upside down as zombie hands reach up from below. Jihan tells her flatly, "I don't play games." Gaeyong and the archer both stare at Jihan with wide open mouths. Jihan rests the staff on his shoulder and looks ahead under the red sky. Power surged through Jihan's body as his eyes locked forward with fury. The staff struck with a flash of light. Chain quest. 12 zombies down. Jihan swung downward, the impact detonating into a burst of pure energy. The zombie's head snapped back, as the strike connected 13 kills logged. The creature's face exploded under the force of a direct hit. Damage numbers 16 and 17 flashed as Jihan took slashes across his back. He carved through the horde under the red sky, 26 zombies dead. Physical attacks won't work on these blood zombies. His bare hands gripped the glowing staff, divine energy crackling between his fingers. Jihan drove the staff down hard, blue flames erupting from the point of impact. Two observers stood far behind, watching the carnage with stunned silence. The archer laughed and cheered. A master at that level deserves nothing but respect. He controls divine power freely, burning none of it. Both sets of eyes went wide. That person was something else entirely. Jihan spun through the red haze, blue light cutting through everything around him. His white sneaker pressed down onto ash-covered ground one step forward. He turned his face away, jaw tight, moving through the red smoke. Jihan walked through the fallen bodies, head low, staff resting across his shoulder. 210 kills. Jihan stood still among the dead, blue energy fading slowly off his frame. Divine power surged, the staff hummed, as Jihan's strength climbed higher. He turned his face away, jaw tight, moving through the red smoke. Jihan raised the staff across his back, just one word, and it was done. Purple energy coiled around his fist as he gripped the glowing staff tightly. For 10 years, no one unlocked its secret, and the relic lost all value. 4 shadowed figures gathered around the relic, yet most never even knew it existed. Sophia stood relaxed in her training gear. She had used the relic herself. Jihan went silent, a single bead of sweat tracing down his jaw. Inside the America First Guild Hall, a sparring dummy lay shattered into the floor below. Sophia smiled and answered without hesitation that relic was how she became a saintess. She held the glowing relic between both hands, face lowered, eyes shut in prayer. Jihan ran a hand through his hair, piecing together what he had just heard. Only during the tutorial could the relic be used, and he kept it alone. She shook her finger at him slowly, then stopped herself mid-thought. Jihan's expression went flat and still, eyes steady under the weight of it. Back at the Sword Palace penthouse, Jihan stepped through a doorway into a dim room full of relics. His eyes went wide. Every single one of them was an other world's relic. The Holy Grail, the crucifix, the pendant, all inactive, all scattered across the floor. Jihan stood barefoot and still among the relics, the truth settling over him quietly. The collector who had gathered every last one of these relics was someone Jihan already knew. A framed family portrait held the answer: his sister, Sungjia. His sister, Sungjia, stood alongside Yoon Se-jin as Korea's greatest supporter and heroine. Jihan pulled his jacket closed, standing alone in the dim penthouse room. Among all the relics his sister left behind, one stood out above the rest. The metal pole leaned in the foreground as Jihan stood in quiet recognition behind it. The metal pole rank, E-relic, strikes heretics and grows divine power with each hit. Jihan spun low and swept a wide arc, blue energy trailing the staff hard. The pole had dropped to rank F with no divine power left to absorb. Rank meant nothing. Now it was solid, reliable, and built for hitting. The warrior in red stood firm while the archer pointed toward another fallen tower ahead. A rank 5 tower down, the archer pointed across the crimson battlefield with wide eyes. The high-ranked zombie screamed wide-mouthed, red eyes blazing with raw fury. Pink petals scattered as something heavy struck the large ornate chest. Impact flash, no figure visible. Im Gaeyong moved through the chaos, white arcs of energy slashing the air around her. She slammed her hammer down with one leg raised, cracking the stone floor beneath her. Jihan turned sharply, his face calm and focused, as impact light flared at his back. 2 pairs of gray eyes locked together inches apart, recognition cutting through like a blade. The fighter in the red uniform stood with her back turned. Im Gaeyong, plum blossom sword. Jihan struck a zombie aside mid-step, already knowing how her story ended last time. Im Gaeyong lay collapsed on the ground. She had died at the hands of Yoon Se-jin. Warrior stood with her back to Jihan under the red sky and said one word: support. Im Gaeyong asked to join together. They could aim for a higher rank. Jihan stood alone on the open ground and called up his status window to check. Rank 5, 398 kills, still way off from where they needed to be. Both their eyes went flat and sharp, barely a minute and a half left on the clock. Im Gaeyong alone could hold the line. The plum blossom sword needed no hand-holding. 3 figures stood around the glowing blue crystal at the center of the arena. The impact tore a hole through the wall. Jihan left the top to them. Jihan dove low off the arena wall, jacket flaring, staff extended toward the horde below. Im Gaeyong and the archer stared at each other with a single, puzzled look. Jihan launched himself airborne over the horde, staff raised and body fully extended in the air. Blue energy crackled off the staff as Jihan gripped it tight with cold focus.